All right, y'all, you've been asking for it, and this is it. This is video number 9 in the beginner series. And I know it's taken this long. It's taken 9 whole lessons to get here, but I think this might be the most important one. Hello, friends and neighbors. I hope you are doing very well. Welcome back to the Brownstone. Today, we are talking about rhythm and playing to a metronome. This is the very beginnings of learning how to play to a metronome and making sure that your time is super solid. Because listen, if you don't have good time, all the licks and scales and triads and arpeggios mean nothing. Nothing will sound good if your time is bad. So in order to get those things sounding good, we need to get your time sounding good. And this is how we're going to do that. We're going to start from the very beginning and just work with the basics of playing to a metronome. That is what this lesson is all about. Let's do this. Once again, I am assisted by my trusty accompanist, Anna One. By the way, Anna One is an app called Metro that I'm using on my iPad. I don't know if it's available on Android. It's obviously available on iOS. I've tried a bunch of different metronomes. This is my favorite one. You've got a lot of control, and you know, I'm not endorsing them. They're not paying me or anything. I'm just letting you know that the metronome that I use is called Tempo. I get asked that a lot, so hopefully that answers the question. Anna One is set to 90 BPM. I'm going to start the metronome, but what I want to do when I start it is I want to let that metronome run for a little bit. Let me show you the process. So once that metronome starts, I want to let it breathe. I want to let it play. And I also want to let it get into the body, into the subconscious. What do I mean by that? I don't mean just tapping my foot, because that's not always an accurate representation of time. I mean, if you can get the groove into the entire body, maybe just do something as simple as swaying back and forth, 2, 4. So I'm swaying back and forth on beats 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I can make that happen, then the groove is in here. If I just jump in and start playing, the groove isn't in the body yet. So that's when we tend to speed up and slow down and maybe not play as accurately as we want. By doing this, not only am I getting the rhythm into the body, but by swaying on the 2 and 4, I'm also allowing myself to relax a little bit more inside the groove. And when I do start to play, even the simplest pattern, volume, here I'm just playing on beats 1 and 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the rhythm is in the body. How do I know that? Because I can keep time and carry on a conversation with you and still be accurate with my time. It's very important. So this is rule number 1 when you're practicing to a metronome. Don't just start the metronome and start playing. Let the rhythm get into the body, and you'll start to move a little bit with more of the entire body, not just nodding the head, not just tapping the foot, because there's more of a tendency to be less accurate with those measurements, right? Or with those methods. So I get the groove into the body starts to sway and move to the beat. Once I get that happening, then I don't necessarily have to focus on the metronome anymore, because when I'm playing, I am playing more to the movement and that is in my body. That makes it a lot easier and a lot more accurate for me to nail the rhythms that I want to play, right? So I'll show you that. So I let the groove breathe. I wait a little bit. The body starts to move. And I can feel the space. You gotta have patience with this. Work with it a little bit. Don't just jump in. And then when I'm ready, I can start to play. So that is kind of a simple demonstration of what can happen once the groove is in the body, right? You have all this freedom to play, and I'm not necessarily focusing on the click anymore. Sorry, anyone. But because the groove is in the body, the groove is now here, I'm able to move and play to the movement of my body. I hope that makes sense. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start the metronome, we're gonna let it breathe, and then we're just gonna play some simple ideas. And I'll talk you through it as we go. Ready? Here we go. So I've started the metronome. Again, I'm not gonna jump in and just start playing. I'm going to listen to the spaces between those clicks so that I can understand where everything falls. And then once my body starts to move, then I know I'm in the pocket. I can concentrate on the groove until it's in my subconscious. Then I don't necessarily have to concentrate on the click anymore because it's in here now. So now let's just start by playing G, 3rd fret of the E string, on beats 1 and 3. So if I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just that. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play the same thing, but this time I want you to play 2 notes. We're going to go from G up to B, the major 3rd, at the 2nd fret of the A string. We'll alternate between those 2 notes on beats 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. G to B. Got it? Does it sound good? Keep playing that if you don't have it. If you feel like you're in the pocket and you're ready to move on, then we'll do so right now. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you not to play, but to count. I want you to count an 8th note subdivision, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Just that. And let that rhythm now get into the body, right? So I want you to count out loud 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Ready? 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, out loud. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Once you've got that, I want to go back to the other exercise that we just did, where we went back and forth between the notes G and B, but this time I want to change the placement of the note B in the bar. And we're going to put that note on the and that comes after beat 2. So don't play that yet. Think about that. We're going to play beat 1 and then the and that comes after beat 2. So first, count out the subdivision, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 1 and 1, 2 and. Then we'll play those notes. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. Right? How you doing? Does it sound good? Are you in the pocket? All right, work on that for a little bit. Now here's the next stage. We're gonna add one more note. We're basically playing a G major triad. So we've played the root, we've played the third, now we're gonna play the fifth, which is going to be the note D, and I'm gonna play that D at the 5th fret of the A string. And the placement is going to be on beat 4 of the bar. So if I count that 8th note subdivision again, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Now if I add the other two notes on beat 1 and the and of 2, the and that comes after the 2, which is called the and of 2, then I've got a little rhythm happening. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So now we'll play this. A G major triad on beats 1, the and of 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. G, B, D. G, B, D. This is a G major triad, and you know the shape already, right? Check this out. I'm going to play this 4 times. And then what I want to do is move down and play a C major triad. So check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. C major triad, same shape, 3rd fret of the A string. Four times and then back to G. Let's go back up to C. I'm playing the exact same shape, I've just moved it down to the A string. Just major triads. Let's say I move this up now to the 5th fret of the A. Same shape. Let's go down to C. And then we'll go back to G. 3, 4, and done. How did you do? Did you understand the exercise? Did you see where things were going? Did you understand the shape of the major triad and how it was moving through our little progression? We started with the G major triad. And then we moved that G major triad, that entire shape, down to the 3rd fret of the A string and played it there. And then we moved that shape up 2 frets to start it on D. And those were our 3 triads: G major, C major, D major. And that's it. And I'm going to leave it there. Friends and neighbors, I want you to work with this. I want you to have fun with this. Here's the thing about this series of videos. They're not to be watched once. Work with one video for a little while. Make sure you understand the concept and you can play it comfortably and musically before you move on to the next video. Don't rush through. I mean, of course you can watch them one after the other. That's great. But once you pick up the bass, make sure you understand the concept and can play the concept of one video before you move on to the next, right? Because I get a lot of questions asking when's the next video coming out, and that's great. I love the anticipation, but I want you to understand the concepts in all the videos before you progress from one to the next. Does that make sense? I hope so. Friends and neighbors, I'm going to leave it there. Have fun with this stuff. That is the main goal. We are playing, after all. Don't forget that. Thank you for visiting me here in the Brownstone. I've got a lot more coming up for you, so stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.